Hello and welcome to SaltWire today for Friday, June 9th. I'm your host, Kate Walker. We're learning more today about the groups that have been affected and what kind of information was stolen in the global privacy breach. Personal information was stolen from the file sharing service called MoveIt. We know upwards of 100,000 people had their info hacked, some members of the public included.
Today, we have discovered that about 55,000 records of certified and permitted teachers, past and present, had their name, address, date of birth, and other employment and demographic data stolen. It does not include social insurance numbers or banking information. About 26,000 students aged 16 years and older had their information stolen, including date of birth, gender, student ID, and school. This information was in the database because it was shared with Elections Nova Scotia. About 5,000 registered short-term accommodation owners had their information stolen, including name, address, property address, and registration number. About 1,400 recipients of Nova Scotia pensions were impacted. About 100 vendors who provide services to Nova Scotia Health have had their product and pricing information stolen. Banking information does not seem to be included. 41 newborns born between May 19th and 23rd had their information stolen, including last name, health card number, date of birth, and date of discharge. About 1,330 people in the Department of Health and Wellness's client registry had their data compromised, including name, address, date of birth, and health card number. About 60 people with the prescription monitoring program were impacted with their names, addresses, dates of birth, health card number, and personal health information being stolen. Just over 150 people in the Department of Health and Wellness's provider registry, including doctors, specialists, nurses, and optometrists, have been impacted.
So far, it does not look like Nova Scotia Health employees had their banking info stolen. One person could be impacted in more than one way. For example, a teacher who was also a former Nova Scotia Health employee or who is also someone that had received a parking ticket with HRM. The province has not been held for ransom. They say staff across all government departments are going through the stolen files prioritized in order of risk to Nova Scotians. Anyone whose sensitive personal information was stolen will receive credit monitoring and fraud protection services. Most of the remaining evacuees in HRM were able to return home today. An emergency alert was sent out around 1 o'clock, lifting the evacuation order for most of the Phase 3 area. The city says as soon as it's safe to do so, Nova Scotia Power will reconnect power to those communities. The area of significant impact has changed and some of it has been rescinded, but there are still some who can't go home yet. The red parts of the city's updated fire zone map indicates the evacuated areas on several streets in Upper Tantallon and on Hammonds Plains Road. Meantime, in Shelburne, the condition of that fire remains at being held and the size has not changed. Highway 103 is now open to all traffic. As part of Phase 2 of reopening the highway, it opened last night at 8 p.m. to travel straight through the section between exits 27 and 30. No stopping or access to local roads. It will stay open 24 hours and no longer have escorts. There is outrage and concern after 8 men were offered a tent and told good luck as they shuffled out the door of a Dartmouth shelter that closed last week. The men's shelter at Christchurch Anglican in Dartmouth closed June 1st, and many were left to find their way. Dartmouth Centre Councillor Sam Austin was outraged at the province's handling of the closure and posted on his website in part, Council urged the province to either keep the shelter open or ensure there was alternate space available. That didn't happen. Austin says that HRM staff handed out survival kits, including tents and sleeping bags. There were 8 men staying there when it closed, but there was room for 20. The province funded the men's-only shelter in December, which was meant as a cold weather refuge. The contract ended May 31st and was not extended. The Nova Scotia music industry will come together tonight to put on a wildfire recovery concert. The show at the Scotiabank Centre in Halifax is being put on to support those affected by the wildfires that ripped through our province and left thousands evacuated, many with no homes to return to. All proceeds will be donated to the United Way. Matt Mays, Neon Dreams, Jen Grant, Classified, and the Joel Plaskett Emergency will headline the concert. Tickets are still available online. Showtime is 7 p.m. with doors opening at 6. All ages are welcome. It's time for another edition of Wine of the Week with SaltWire sommelier Mark DeWolf. After some rainy weather, the sun promises to peak out early next week and the start of summer entertaining season will soon begin. Mark has a wine for you to try.
Well, we've had some rainy weather, but the sun will come out again, and that means outdoor entertaining. And if you want to change up your outdoor entertaining routine with the wine, think about this Argentinian blend of Malbec and a local grape there, Bernarda. Anyway, really fruity, really primary strawberry, raspberry fruit, a little bit of oak, nice and soft and round, great with like a grilled pork chop.
And for more wine tips, recipes, and interviews with local food and drink personalities, go to the food and drink section of saltwire.com. It's time now for a glimpse of today's Thinking Out Loud with Sheldon McLeod. Today, Sheldon is speaking with Dalhousie law professor Robert Curry. He has joined others in signing a letter asking Canada to refuse a French extradition order for Lebanese-Canadian Hassan Diab.
And I assume the implication is if it can happen to this man, it could happen to any of us.
Well, that's a great point. You know, extradition is kind of obscure. Most people didn't know much about it until the Meng Wanzhou extradition case happened, and then that was in the news every day. But that's exactly right. You know, imagine that a country that we tend to trust, like France, a Western European democratic country, could engage in this kind of kangaroo court proceeding against a Canadian citizen. And I couldn't put it any better than you did, Sheldon. If it could happen to him, it could happen to any of us. God forbid you go to Mexico or Costa Rica or somewhere, or Spain, and go off resort and get in trouble with the local police. And maybe there's corruption, maybe there's a misunderstanding and something bad has happened. One thing that we know is that Canadian extradition law is conditioned to provide extradition.
And for Sheldon's full conversation, head to the opinion section of saltwire.com. On to weather now to see what's coming up in the weekend forecast. We're going to check in now with our weather specialist, Alistair Alders.
Happy Friday, Kate. Well, our Friday was much like yesterday. We had morning fog patches, and then this afternoon the sun was peeking out through the clouds. A lot of dandelion fluff blowing around today, but we also had a chance of showers develop, especially inland areas of the province with a few rumbles of thunder. Now for the upcoming weekend, not a total washout, but some weather awareness will be needed. This evening we will have mainly cloudy skies. Fog patches develop later this evening, and we'll have a chance of showers diminishing this evening with a few rumbles of thunder possible inland. The temperature will be near 12 degrees, rising from 9 degrees on Saturday morning with cloudy skies, fog patches, and a chance of showers. Now into the afternoon, cloudy skies, a few peaks of sunshine possible, but a chance of showers and a risk of thunderstorms with the temperature near 17 degrees, except cooler along parts of the coast. And then improving on Sunday, a chance of showers will diminish and we'll have a mix of sun and cloud. The temperature near 22 degrees across HRM with northwest winds 15 to 30 kilometers per hour. So overall, like I said, not a washout this weekend, just some weather awareness needed, especially on Saturday. Remember, if thunder roars, head indoors. Have a great weekend. Kate.
Thank you, Alistair. That's all for now. For more extended video and full online articles, stay tuned to saltwire.com. And you can find us on social media. I'm your host, Kate Walker. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you back here Monday. Turn off the noise. Tune in to what matters. What matters is information you can trust. What matters is the news you can use to make life's big decisions. Informed healthcare choices, casting the smart vote, or opening that business. What matters is understanding the world around you. Let SaltWire connect you to what matters with unlimited access to the information you need for only $20 for the first year. Become a member today.